And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, touching base with you as I do every day. How are you all doing? And it is hump day. It is Wednesday. It is our water cooler Wednesday. I gotta get some guests on this show. I guess I've been running around with so many things. I have not been able to be able to really give myself to my Wednesdays like I want to. But also I've been also loving spending time with you guys and just hearing our conversation. So it's kind of like a catch 22. And I just love our water cooler days as well. So I gotta figure this one out. Maybe I just have guests throughout the week and whenever they are able to come on. And because the water cooler days are really good. I think they're really nice to be able to have conversation about different subjects. And obviously we have our Gwendolyn on panel and Chris on panel and Elise on panel. We get into some really good discussions, and that's necessary for a community. So yeah, so I'm trying to figure it all out, and I'm just having a good time, doing this every day, and I'm excited about what's going on. So, oh, Adrian's in the building. Oh, I have to. Okay, I see him in the building. The Sunny Boys in the building. Speaking, I'm sending you a message right here, right now. You need to come by the house as soon as possible. I said I was gonna call you this morning. I said no, wait, and then I didn't think I would see you online. So anyway, that was a fast telecommunication right there. You need to get to the house as soon as possible so I can give you some things. Anyway, so yesterday I spent the whole day cleaning out my library. Whew, I didn't realize I had so many books. So I put some bags together to get to some of my friends who are into architecture and design. I had literally 3 huge bags, but I said, man, I spent so much money on all of these books over the years. I cannot believe how much money I spent on all these, literally interior design, coffee table type books. And then I went to my I eat at a restaurant here. One of my friends, he's become a friend. He owns the Mediterranean restaurant. I go there to hang out once in a while, pretty much once a week or twice a week. And we sit down, we talk about politics. He tells me about Syria and his life there and being in a dictatorship and his life in the Middle East and his concerns. And we talk, and I'm trying to help him with some stock market advice, not advice as in me giving him financial advice, but kind of like helping him to understand the stock market. And yeah, so that's what's going on. And so we had a good time. So I told him about my plants because I noticed that he had trimmed his plants the other day, and I said, oh my gosh, you took care of your plants. And he was like, yeah, I love plants. And I said, really? And then I said, well, I have a whole house full of plants and they're all going to need homes. I still owe Adrian a video because I need a video for him, for his friend, to check out some of the plants here too. But I was like, I know my plants are going to have some good homes. This move is going to happen. Today I will approve the contractor work that's coming in. They're going to come in, I think, next week. And that's why things have to leave. Like, I have to get things out of the house between this week and next week. Paintings, artwork, everything's leaving the house and throwing things out. I threw out one of my lamps yesterday. I was like, oh, my Ralph Lauren lamp is gone. One of my Ralph Lauren lamps are gone. But it had become so oxidized. And I was like, I am not going to take time to get all that oxidation off of it. So I just tossed it. And but yeah, the move is happening. And I'm excited about it. And I got bubblies and all the other stuff that happens when you are transitioning in your life into something new. But I'm excited. I know that this has been a prayerful move, and I see all the indications that point to yes, to do it. So, like I said, one of the contractors came in on Monday. and gave me an estimate, and I thought the estimate was very reasonable. And it turned out that was one of my colleagues from networking in the city. I was like, "Wait a minute, I know you." He says, "I know you." He said, "Don't I know you from somewhere?" And then I said, "I think I know you too." But and then he says, "Wait a minute, wait a minute." Uh, he says, he says, "You're that photographer, aren't you?" And I say, "Yes, I'm that photographer. I am that photographer." And we started talking, and I remember he was leading the Brooklyn Conservatory, not sorry, not conservatory, Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. He was leading, and I was like, "Wait a minute, we we we're part of the whole networking in the city thing, y'all." And we just started talking, and I think he gave me a reasonable price to paint the whole house. And 'cause the bedroom's getting done, the kitchen's getting done, the hallway's getting done, everything's getting painted white, back to its original when I first bought this apartment, and helping people to imagine it to be theirs. And so the paint works probably is going to start next week or the week after. It needs to be done because the house needs to go onto the market by the first week of June. So as I'm hearing, this is a hot market, so I'm trying. It'll probably sell in about a week or two on the market. So that's the whole thing of trying to get this all orchestrated, because as I as soon as this goes on the market, it's probably going to sell. And I am so happy because I cannot wait to get to the next chapter of my life. And you are included in that chapter. And I am glad that you are included in that chapter. You are part of my family. And so anyway, let me say some good mornings, because I've been chatting away. I came out the gate all fired up and excited. Hannah says, "Good morning, Ron, Touch Base Daily family." Yes, and Houston, chat, 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 chat. She says, "Good morning." And Lisa, third, with the bronze in the building. She says, "Morning, ladies." And then she says, "Hey, Ron." And Lisa and I have been brainstorming for this our party that we're going to do, our get together, and now it looks like it's going to be September. So it gives everyone time they need to get plane tickets if they want to come to New York. It's going to be a weekend affair. So we're going to do some photography. It's a hello healing, and Ron Lewis photos collaboration, Touch Base Daily over, and so all that together. And so we're gonna have a night at the Met. Then after that, a after party at one of the restaurants in Harlem, and then the next day a brunch and some photography and some talking about healing and affirmation and support. And yeah, so it's gonna be a beautiful weekend of just hanging out. And so I cannot wait. It's gonna be our first Touch Base Daily, Hello Healing, Ron Lewis photos event. And so any photographers out there, also I'll be reaching out to some of them and saying, "Hey, you guys want to come out and just kind of like socialize and connect with people?" So it's gonna be fun as well. Thank you, Lisa, for being such. Lisa is can I cannot describe to you the strong women in my life, and I am so appreciative of them. Lisa and Gwendolyn, Elise, Jazzy Jazz, Adrian, a lot of from this community, you keep me on point. When I deviate from left to right because I can't focus sometimes, I am a procrastinator by birth. You guys keep the fire on me. You guys keep me in the right path. So I am so thankful for the women of this community. The guys are cool too. No, don't get me wrong, but the women really, they get on the phone. They call me up and say, "Ron." Or then I get on the phone, then they're texting me or they're DMing me. The women really support this group. I really have to say they are the anchors to this community. So thank you so much, Lisa, Elise, Gwendolyn, Jazzy Jazz, Adrian, Chrissy R, Chrissy, and man, the list goes on. Such a great group. Aya's in the building as well. And she says, I already told you how to do that. Adrian's in the building, so he says, "Good morning, fam." And Aya says, "Grund rising, Ron and everyone." And I thought the conclave was secretive. Why is it on TV? It is. They're gonna lock the. Well, they've already locked the other doors. There's one door they haven't locked yet. And once they lock that door, they are not coming out until they decide, until they vote on a pope. They need two-thirds of the conclave of the bishops and I should say the cardinals of the cardinals to be able to pick the pope. And it usually happens average in 3 days. I say it'll happen in 3 days. I think it'll be 3 days. But the one gentleman said, if it doesn't happen in 3 days, something has gone wrong. Something has gone awry. Lisa says, Ron, it want that giant pant over your shoulder. You want the plant over my shoulder? You know, Lisa, you drive. So it's possible you can take one of these plants because you could. Well, I have to consult Adrian on some things. So Adrian's is going to be the firewall because my first intentions are, one, he and Nancy could pick what they want because I always got to look out for my folks. And but I do have, there's 50 plants in this house. So I have enough plants to give away. And also Chris has already taken claim of this guy. Chris has already taken claim of this one. So it's easy to take care of also. Let's see here. Hey, sorry, Hannah says, good morning. And also I see plant. I know what you meant. Adrian says, chat, pray for Pops. We literally schedule a date. I'll come by already. You know, my brain is all over the place. My brain is in 3 places. One is I'm still trying to work on my mother's situation. 2, I gotta go to her house and start going through things and do that. I am purging my house, and I got a business to run. I was in conference calls all day yesterday. Can I just do a public testimony of thankfulness? This is a thankfulness. This is my faith moment. Because I believe in faith and I believe in prayer, and I am a faith-based person. I am so thankful to God for opening the doors that he is opening. I'm just so thankful, especially after coming out of surgery. And I was like, oh my gosh. And even that orchestrated, like I had a project that was supposed to be done like the 3rd week after surgery. And that the client calls me and said, hey, can we postpone that? I'm so sorry. And I was like, yes, because I was not up to it after surgery. And so also the weeks of going into surgery there was so much going to the hospital, going back and forth to tests, blood tests, organs, x-rays, scans. It was 3 weeks of crazy. I didn't let you guys know that, but yeah, because I'm way past it. And then being here with you all. So it's 3 or 4 weeks of crazy. And then work, obviously work suffers because I work from client to client. I get paid from client to client. That's how I make money, right? And then I have to tell you, the doors have been opening like this. I already have 3 major projects in this month, which is like so I am so thankful. I woke up this morning and said, God, I am going to give you some praise on this program today because I am so thankful for the opportunities that are opening up and coming my way, and filling in the balancing out the year, because it needed to be balanced and to get these bills paid up and all the stuff that I do here. But I am so thankful, so thankful. Just within this week, I have 3 major projects between now and next week this time. And it's getting, and then one that's just on postponement, that the Forbes event. So I'm waiting for the Verizon to get back to me on that for the interview there. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts to this life called Ron's. So yes, so Adrian will be talking today after this. And I see in here, good morning. Elise says good morning. She says good morning. And also I see the Bryson says, what's up, Ron? What's up, RLP ladies? What's up, Touch Base Daily family? Happy hump day. Still looking up at Met Gala photos from Rihanna to Kim Kardashian to Angela Bassett and Miley Cyrus. Bryson, you always wear me out. I need a drink after that one. I required a drink. Usually I take the drink before. I needed a drink after that. Thank you, Bryson, for always giving us information. Aya says good morning again. I see all the love. I see all the love. I see all the love. Lisa says, so mad. Remember that influencer I told you about with the trip to Africa? She had a spot open at 8 a.m., but I missed it because I was still sleeping. Another spot will open. Cape Town is calling me. Lisa, if I make it to Cape Town, you will have a place to hang out, because Cape Town is on the horizon. I talked to my buddy from Cape Town yesterday. I said, I am on my way. I'm on my way next year or the end of this year. I'm on my way. Let's see all the good mornings. Good morning. Hey, Kimmy Kim is in the building. What's on, Kimmy Kim? Oh, speaking of Kimmy Kim, because Kimmy Kim has been doing some stuff in our game nights. Now, tonight is our game night. It's Wednesday. It's game night tonight. And Kimmy Kim has been so good at the pangrams for our spelling bee game. Woo, she comes in. And then she put us over the top on Sunday night. We had genius. We did it again. We became geniuses as a group. So we have a good time at our game nights. Touch Base Daily game nights, Sunday nights, Wednesday nights, and Friday nights at 11:30 p.m. So just like a reversal today. Kelly is in the building. She says good morning. Also, if you're in the building, make sure you hit the likes. Make sure you hit the likes. And now I'm going to bring on my wonderful assistant, partner in crime, and work wife.
I don't get a doorbell?
You didn't get a doorbell. I just brought you right in.
What kind of foolishness is this? What kind of production are you running?
We can't do it in backwards though. You want me to kick you out and we can ring the bell?
I want a doorbell. I want my red carpet moments.
Oh, you got it. So okay, we're gonna take her off the bed. She's gone. The work wife is gone. Kaboof. And the work wife is. Oh, I hear someone at the door. I hear someone at the door. Could it be? Could it be? One more. Here you go. Come on. There it is. There it is. Well, hello, work wife.
Morning.
Good morning.
I mean, you only had it for like a week and then you just stopped using your doorbell. I was like, what kind of...
I
Kinda
didn't.
thing, yeah.
I was just. I got so caught up in the moment, but I did forget, and you reminded me to bring that doorbell. It's a great doorbell too.
It's a good doorbell.
It's so rich.
Yes.
It's so cool. Anyway, Gwendolyn, what's going on in your world? Because I know you have been. Y'all don't know when we leave you off of here. Gwendolyn and I, we sometimes talk for hours, and not because we just talking, just chatting away. Like we talk about a lot of stuff, but we're usually working. It's almost like we have our works. We're in a co-op workspace, and when she's on I have her on speakerphone. I'm sure I'm on speakerphone over there, and we're just working away, but we're talking while we're working. So she's been working, y'all. She's been working hard. Gwendolyn, what's on your plate? What's been going on?
Well, I'm looking at looking at Lisa and Adrian's comment. You know what? I probably do have a key. I got a key. I could just walk in. But sometimes I try to be respectful. I'll ring the doorbell before just walking in somebody's house. What's going on here? Yeah, the second quarter is it's interesting, right? Because my first quarter, we had a lot of family transcending literally from January,
Yes.
February, and March. Um, it was just some constant funerals, which for some people I know can be a great deal. Understand, I don't see death as an ending, so I don't. It's people are like, how are you doing? It's like, well, this is part of life. People, it's gonna be all right. It's okay. But that's also why I spend a good chunk of my time with my family in the moment, because I'm not gonna do the shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? But we are back on another team challenge. I got up this morning, got darn near 6 miles.
Mm.
I know, right? I'm just mildly competitive.
You are.
Mildly.
No, not mildly. You are viciously competitive.
I mean, if you think about it, when I do stuff to be better than the Gwendolyn from yesterday or yesteryear,
Yes.
right? So it's not ever looking at someone else's something. It's that. But if I do a team challenge, I'm going to bring all of it. Gwendolyn is bringing it. So it's a team
Highly
challenge.
competitive.
It's
Highly.
mildly competitive, but I'm with some heavy hitters. I'm with people who are doing the thing. Like this Saturday, we were 60,000 steps ahead. I was like, oh my God. I'm with some good people. I'm with my people. So we like to get in there and get in there. So yeah. But other than that, we are writing today. Today's a writing and video day. So recording video and also editing video. That's where my future lies today. So, what can I say? As Lisa was telling me yesterday that she needs she needs the TV guide for all of the creative projects I have out. And then I thought, wait a minute, I have a Luma calendar. I'll send you a link, Lisa. I'll send you a link because the Luma calendar keeps all the things together. So that if you're looking to see like where I am, you can find me because I stay places. I stay moving.
I'm looking at this, Gwendolyn. Lisa says, y'all didn't include me on the call in a while.
Well, hold on, Lisa. Hold on now. Hold on.
And then Adrian's instigating by saying, not Lisa shadow banned.
She's not shadow banned. No. Lisa, we would happily call you and add you in. I add you in. Sometimes if I may, really quick. So sometimes I'll call Ron as I'm heading towards one of my volunteer efforts.
I'm
right?
her road buddy. When she's on the road, we talk.
Hey, shout out to DS. So sometimes I'm calling Ron as I'm going towards like the school, and I'll sit in the parking lot because I get there early, and we're just vibing. But I could add you into that call. Like that call's always there's a lot of colored commentary because I'm driving. I am driving and people do some of the most ridiculous things. I believe it's gotten worse. I don't know if I can keep driving the way that it's there's a lot of entitlement, and I don't believe a lot of folks have an actual license, let alone car insurance.
Yeah.
So it's, I'm protecting myself and a car that's paid off, you know what I'm saying?
If
So
you see, I don't think you can handle Gwendolyn and her colorful metaphors as she's driving
I
a
think Lisa can. I
oh,
think Lisa can.
Lisa.
I am certain Lisa can. So
Woo!
here's here's
Gwendolyn be
what's
going off. She be like, she be like, "You- I just can't believe you cut me off."
so if any of you if any it's look now for the people who watched Don Lemon last week when it was Michael Cohen
Oh
and
yes, Michael
and the
Cohen
other
last week.
Michael Cohen is me. We stay in a colorful state. We stay in a colorful state. People like, she speaks
Yes.
like that? Yes. I almost said something. I was like, don't do it. Yes.
So I mean, and people, it's interesting because I don't curse. I don't use you know, colorful language in that way. I mean, once in a while it'll be in my head. Once in a while I may slip and say something. Um, but it's just not part of my vocabulary. But and people say, Rod, how do you hang out with so many friends that curse? I said, because they're just who they are. That's not a reflection of me. I love when people are themselves. I don't care what
It
you
could be a
do.
reflection of you. It could
Yeah, I
be,
mean,
and
but
they like, we
but
could be
what I
your
mean.
angry
Well,
translators.
you are my angry translator.
You know?
You
I
certainly are.
mean,
And when years ago, even to this day, we Gwendolyn and I could be in the room. A conversation could be going on. We could look at each other and know exactly what we're saying. We don't
yes.
even have to verbally say it. We look right at each other and we're like,
Which Ron and I have talked about that. We have talked about how people believe that those of us who use, I just think it's language. I'm a writer,
it's
right?
language.
Words are words. There are far worse words than me saying what I'm going to say, right? I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Girl, get over it. Because I mean, that's like nothing. There are far worse words, really.
Yes.
But people say, oh, that person probably has a low vocabulary and can't express themselves. No, bitch, I am expressing myself, right? I have a great vocabulary.
And
I'm bringing
she
it down to your
does.
level, okay? So that you can understand what I'm saying to you. Okay?
Do you know it's interesting that Gwendolyn would say that because when I was in school, in high school we had professors and one of my professors in school he would say, you have a small intellect when you use vulgar vocabulary. And so that's kind of like a programming when you're growing up. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
I can
they tell
stretch
those
my
lies.
words. I can use words like embryonic. The night is still embryonic versus it's still young. You use all these different like words to color your language as when you were in late years of high school, college life. And then as I got older and start getting into the workforce and start meeting all of these amazing minds, people that are like brilliant, brilliant. I mean, brilliant. Gwendolyn's one of those people that is brilliant. Adrian is a brilliant young man, but Adrian, if he curses, he don't curse around me. And but I the people on Wall Street, though, Adrian will tell you on Wall Street, people curse like sailors. I mean, there's more curse words flying all day, every day. And I realized when I was at the stock exchange on the trading floor that was a myth, that in people's cursing ability or, using colorful metaphors was not a reflection of the intellect. As a matter of fact, I found that a lot of my
No,
friends that were highly intelligent curse like they drank water. And I realized that was a lie. That was something that my teacher said I guess to get us in line and not to curse. But I have to tell you, there is a place for colorful metaphors and curse words. I'll
there's
never
a
forget
skill
my
to it.
sister was in school and these girls were trying to come after her. My now again, we don't curse. We don't. My mom. I have never heard my mother curse ever, ever. My mother's 85 years old. I'm 61. I have never heard my mother curse ever, ever. Now she may have done it, just not in front of us. So we just never did it. But my sister one day was being picked on in high school by these roughneck girls. And my sister said, I had to use it. I had to use the F bomb. And they went after her. They were picking on her. And she said, wait the effing minute. And because she never cursed. And the hallway just went into silence.
Oh my gosh.
They were like, April's cursing. April. And it was like, but it's interesting about using colorful metaphors and cursing. Look, there's cursing. There was, what was it, Peter? It was Peter. Peter was the cursor in the Bible, right? He cursed all the time. Anyway, I don't know how we got on this subject, but colorful metaphors are necessary. But Gwendolyn is definitely my voice.
There's the skill, because everybody can't do it. And in my opinion, they can't do it right. It doesn't come across the way that you would like it to. But when I talk about language, I do look at word choice, and there are right. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you. Right. People will say, God bless you, or bless your heart, and that kind of stuff. It's like, look, there are far worse things that you can tell somebody, as our friend Peggy often says, things like saying someone is stupid, saying someone is dumb. Like, there are a lot of words that leave a long lasting impact than saying, damn you and all this other stuff. That's nothing.
Yeah,
it is nothing. So when people talk about vulgarity, it's like, according to whom, right? Like, according to whom? Because these words, they have nothing.
That's right.
Some other words really can get into the heart and leave a lot of damage. So yeah, I use all the spices.
You do, and I love you for it. My
kitchen. I use all the spices. You know what I'm saying?
She cooks with all the ingredients.
I play with all the crayons. Use all the spices. It's like, but when people say, oh my God, as Ron says, sugar honey iced tea, is like, get over that. You too old for that shit. Okay? Say it already. My God.
Just say it, right?
Really?
Just say it.
Seriously? Are we 5 years old?
Oh gosh. Sometimes I am still in my 5-year-old body.
I'm gonna tell you something else real quick. But okay, so like real talk. Think about
Gwendolyn
it, Ron.
Unleashed.
In terms of education,
yes,
we are programmed and trained for someone else's benefit. And if you do these things, if you give people a certain message over and over and over again, they will rarely ever question it. And you start when you're a kid. Like, kids can say that. Prime example, the idea that in America, we have a problem with drugs and alcohol and sex. Right? As in like STDs and things, because we never want to talk about it. I don't think we can talk. If the sooner you teach your kids about alcohol, then they realize there's nothing there, right? When you talk to your kids about drugs, like, I have never had a drug, never, not once. Now, there was that one time in Cozumel a few months ago that I got some THC just by accident, but that was like the one time. I was like, oh, okay. But other than that, I've never. He was like, it's cannabis. I was like, oh. I was like, I don't do those things. I've never had a drug, never even had the want to have any drugs, right? And in regards to sex, like, people talk about it, but it's so backwards. It's so backwards that you're supposed to just show up and know what to do, but no one has talked about where the key is and where the hole is. Like, ain't no one ever talks about that. It's like, so how is that supposed to happen? And they make it seem as if it's just for birthing children, but there's this whole other avenue, right? Like, we are human beings, sexual beings. It's like, why don't we have these conversations? As soon as you get rid of that, you can probably solve a great number of these ills.
Well, it's the whole Judeo-Christian mindset in our country that you can't talk about these things. But I realize when you go around the world and you go to other countries like Europe, there's boobs on the billboard. There's, everything is out. Everything, and people live healthier lives.
You have healthier lives. You have healthier lives. People can make better decisions. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this because I don't mind saying it.
Go ahead, say it.
Okay, so my sister had my nephew when I was a junior in high school. Scared me straight. Okay? Because there's nothing like having a baby in the house and you are a teenager. I found that chastity belt. I locked it up. I throw all the keys into the ocean. I was like, ain't nobody getting this cookie ever. I mean, like, ever. What happened, Captain? There were some guys. Let me tell you how bad it's my mama. She was a minister. And she didn't talk about these things.
Your mama is a minister. Can we all say that? Gwendolyn's mom is a minister.
She's a minister, right? Pops talked about how to recognize a guy who's like trying to run games. So I had that, but that was about it. So then you get into these moments when there's a guy who's like, oh, I'm going to break the belt. Because everybody, well, shouldn't say that. The story is for most men, can I get the virgin and like, just change her mind? And so we're in this moment and dude is like, oh, is that it? Because no one ever told me that's not what you say in these kinds of moments, right? Like I was like, oh, my bad. But it never happened. I was like, no. So I believe in abstinence for myself. I do. But I also believe that the sooner we talk to both young men and women about who they are, the better off this can be in terms of making a decision. It is not just about the act itself. There's a lot of emotions that go into this. And a lot of people, even as adults, are not emotionally ready for any kind of sexual relationship. They are not.
Not ready.
Now, Ron and I had a conversation last week. Ron was like, ooh, I am blushing.
She always gets a blush out of me at least once a week.
Ron gets, okay, so I was not a 40-year-old virgin. I was a 30-year-old virgin. And it was like, no. But then I thought, am I going to be a nun? I don't want to be a nun. I don't want to do that. So, there was a time in my life where I thought I was going to be George Clooney. I was like, I'm never going to get married. I'm just going to love him and leave him. That was interesting. I had holes in different area codes, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
She did, and I could bear witness. And because before, like I told y'all, before she got married, before she found Mr. Jack or Mr. Jack found her,
yeah,
it was just a couple of months or maybe weeks, and she was like, "I'm done with this dating thing. I'm just gonna just date him and leave him.
I was like, on to the next.
on to the next. And
I'll be like, bruh, it's not working.
And then a month later, and then a month or so later, Ron, I met this really nice guy.
Yes.
We went for a run. And he was
ran
so nice, and he just wanted to talk and blah 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 blah. And I was like, really? And I was like, what happened to 2 weeks ago? What happened to a month ago? She was
so let's talk about this because, so women are put in this place of we should wait to be chosen. And if you are the woman who comes out and says, here's what I'm looking for, and you're not meeting it, all of a sudden there's something wrong with you. She's either hoish or everybody's taking a turn. It's like, no, that ain't it. That type of, I'm going to say decision making and picking your partner and telling your partner what it is that you require in your relationship is not just for men.
Yes.
But that's the story we were told, because I had a friend say, well, only guys do that. I don't know who told you only men get to do that. I get a choice too. I get a choice.
I'm tells you what she wants.
Oh, and I stayed telling people. I was like, partner, that ain't it. You got to figure something out. Game.
Oh my God.
But maybe this next generation, since they are not having kids, consciously deciding not to have kids and to not get into that predicament, then maybe it'll be something different. But but we shall see. But I don't know. We have to find a way to get rid of this taboo mindset that we have here. But that's a bigger fish to fry. That's a whale.
I'm listening. I'm just reading a text with that.
You're good. I mean,
Adrian.
I had stopped to my thoughts.
I was like, wait a minute. So, you know how we get worried with silence? Oh my gosh, what's going on?
No, I don't. Silence is good. Silence means someone's trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
They're processing. So I'm silent.
So you can tell, obviously, for those that are just joining, this is Touch Base Daily, and you can definitely tell that Gwendolyn and I have been in conversation for decades. I can't believe we're saying decades now. Decades.
It's decades.
And it's decades. And it is something great. I always tell folks, you have to appreciate your friendships. This is, and not to bring Adrian up a couple of times in this conversation, but this is something that really fascinated me when I watched Adrian and his friends. So I got to watch he and his friends from when he was 16, 15, 17 years old, and then watch some of his friends are still in the mix in his life to this day. But that doesn't happen. Or I have my friends, some of my friends that I have still friends from kindergarten that that live in the neighborhood, that I say hello, we connect and catch up. But those relationships take nurturing. Relationships take nurturing. You gotta call, you gotta check in, you gotta talk, you gotta say what's going on. Gwendolyn, she knows. She's like, just checking up on you. Just checking on you, Padre. Calls me up. I'm just checking, Padre. And then I'll call her. I'm just checking up.
Yes.
And I watch the dynamics of people. People say, "Oh, I don't have friendships. I don't have good friends. I don't have a good circle of friends. I don't have someone to hang out with. I'm alone all the time. I'm a loner." That is most of the time is by choice. But if you want your friendships, you have to invest in them. I have my friend Linda, my lover. I always say that's my Latin lover. She's my lover. And we make sure that we go to dinner, we spend time. When I had my surgery, she would not allow me to do it alone. She was like, "Oh, no, Ron, you are not doing this alone. You are not." I was like, "I got this. I can just go and just do it." She goes, "No. I'm taking off from work. I will be there. I'm going with you into the surgery. I'm going right there, prepping, wherever I can go. I'm going to be there. And I'm going to be here when you wake up." That's friendship. But that's also years. Now, she and I have been friends for decades also. But that's taking time throughout the years to build a relationship. Relationships are so important. Go ahead, Gwendolyn.
If I may, when people say that they don't have friends, I immediately think, oh, how do I say this graciously? Screw it. You don't know who you are, and you're not a good friend to yourself, right? In order to be a good friend to someone else, you really do have to start at home. You do, because it teaches you how you want to be treated, and then it helps you really identify that in someone else, right? So Gwendolyn is a great friend to Gwendolyn, hands down. We're a great friend to Gwendolyn, but I also understand that there is this level of being vulnerable and open to what may or may not happen. And there's a good chunk of people who have a certain level of anxiety, and they have been programmed to not take chances. Making a friend is taking chances, even with yourself, like looking in the mirror and truly looking at yourself. I know my good parts. I know my bad parts. That's why I take my time in speaking, because I know I can say something and you can't unring the bell. You say it, right? It's done. And that whole, "Oh, I didn't mean to say it," but those are lies that we tell ourselves, because you meant to say it because you said it. Think before you speak, right? So in order to have a friendship, You have to be vulnerable. You have to be able to share all the parts of you. Maybe not all the parts, but you have to be open to someone may receive me, someone may not. But if you don't even receive you, if you don't even accept you for who you are, how can someone else do that? Like, that's real talk. I show up as my full foolishness self. My husband looks at me and says, "How did I marry this woman?" I'll walk around the house dancing, walking into walls, doing all kinds of ridiculous stuff. According to, like, when people are like, adults do that. Adults in this house do that. Yes, we do that, right? And he's just like, oh my goodness. But he loves me for who I am, all of me, not part of me, not the idea of me, but all of me. And so when I go out to make friends, I look at people, I check their energy. If the energy is off, it's a no for Gwendolyn. If you coming in kind of half this, half that fraud, I can sense it. It's like, that's going to be a no. But you have to work for it.
You
So
gotta work
beyond
for
being
it.
vulnerable, some people don't want to work for it. Now, I understand the social media thing. We're using things like followers and friends and connections, and you start thinking that's real. That's not real.
It's
When
not
I do a
real.
connection, I send a link to have a real conversation afterwards. If you pick up, great. If you don't, I know exactly where you stand. You hit the vanity numbers. Okay, whatever. Do what you got to do. But you're going to have to work for any relationship, and that's all relationships. If you want it bad enough, if you love that person, then you will work for it. Now, sometimes you're going to have to let some of it go because some of it ain't even worth your time. But it takes work. We have worked on this. Have we ever had like an argument, Ron? I'm trying to think.
We've had disagreements, but we've
Never had an argument.
we've never had an argument because I think we really understand each other. I mean, if Gwendolyn says something that I disagree with, it's not the end of the world because we
Yeah.
don't agree on a lot of stuff, and it's we just simply just say, oh, we just disagree on that. And it's never even like it was never really you say it consciously. I disagree with it, and we just move on. We just
We
okay.
have had a couple of
We've
I
had
don't
some
agree.
yes, we have some
Mr.
yes.
Age is like, I said, don't bring up the age thing. I don't want to do the age thing, Ron. No, but I'm just telling you, it's like,
Or
we're
for
not doing
instance,
it, Ron Foster.
yes, right. She'll say,
I get the
or we'll
whole name. Ron
when she
Foster. Don't do it.
when she uses the full name, I know I've stepped on some toes. But like for instance, we talked like one day we got into a real conversation, real about normal.
Yes.
And remember that
I
conversation?
did.
And she was like, "What is normal?" And I was like, "Well, some things are normal."
And you were
So
like, it's an
normal,
anomaly.
normal.
I was
And
like,
we
I don't
went back
understand
and forth,
anomaly.
but what we do, and this is what I love about our friendship and our conversations, is that we take the time to explain from our point of view of why we think the way we are thinking about that subject. And then once we've done that, then we've get a consensus. And I say, oh, you know what? I just learned something. I never thought about it from that perspective. And then she may say to me, say, you know, Ron, there's a point there. I think there's something there. And so you learn. That's why it's so good to have great friends that challenge you, because it helps you get out of your brain or out. I used to tell Adrian when he was growing up. I'm using it a lot, Adrian, today. When he was growing up, we used to play handball all the time. All the time. Now, he's a really good handball player. I'm pretty good too. And we would go to the park. We used to have our Father's Sundays, and we would go and play handball. And Adrian would make me work on that court. But I worked. He knows it. I gave him a run for his money, even though he was younger. He was the little one. and we would be on the court. But one of the things when we used to have our conversation time, like a moment of learning, when I would use analogies to share with him, I would say, no one gets better on their own. Like you can come on this court and play by yourself. You won't get better unless you play with an opponent.
Mhm.
You need opposition to gain perspective.
Mhm.
He knows, I say it all the time. You cannot play handball against yourself. And therefore, in life, you need people. You have to play, you have to engage so you can learn perspective and grow.
Yeah.
But you do not grow when you play against yourself, by yourself, in your own head.
Mhm.
And I realized that I surround myself with strong personalities. If you ever see me in any given moment, when I mean strong person, look at her, she's shaking her head. When I mean strong, I don't want to say person, but strong, they're strong individuals. Like you cannot tell Gwendolyn, like she said yesterday on her show with Dr. Tachi. She said, you could tell me I look good because I know I look good.
Oh, well, those are facts. I mean, we're not talking about these are
She's like,
factual. I mean, like, those are facts.
hello, I look good. I'm not gonna say you can tell me I look good, but you know what? I look good. But
Yes.
again, you have to be secure in yourself. I really love being around people that are secure in themselves, believe in themselves, are not afraid to be wrong or and not afraid to express when they're right. You have to, those people are the best people to have in your circle because they're engaging. You learn. I learn from my friends all the time. All that I learn from Gwendolyn more times than she knows.
I'm trying to find okay, so
Do you
here's
learn from
my
me?
say again?
Do you learn from me?
I get a little some here and there. No, no, just kidding. I'm sorry. No, just kidding. No, I do. I learn from you, Ron. I do. I learn from you. You know I do.
Yes,
I
we
do
learn
learn.
from each other.
I have and continue to learn from you. So yes, yes. I'm not even not gonna say like that. But no, I was thinking about when like it's the word strong, right? I have a thing about word choice. And I
Mhm.
don't know if it's not strong personality for me. I like to surround myself with people who are solid
Solid.
in who they are. And so they come in, they do what they do. Now here's what's funny because I was telling you about the networking event
Mm-hmm.
where I found myself saying I just wasted all of my good time. There are people who try to appear to be confident in their presence, and so they want to give you their entire CV. I don't see that as
Mm.
being confident. I see that compensating for something what I don't know because I just met you, right? But when you are solid in your presence and who you are, you give people space to just be who they are. And it's
Yes.
not about what you do as a task or a job, but who you are truly. What are some of your hobbies? Creative projects. Tell me about this. Tell me about that. Like there's this real conversation happening. And also, how can I serve you? How can I assist you on whatever project you're working on? Versus, here's my entire resume. Well, ain't nobody asked for that because I'm not hiring right now. It's a networking, you know? But
Is the
I
truth?
see myself as being solid in who I am.
Solid is the best
Something
word
about
for it.
strong and Black women, I just
Yeah.
see oxen. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, I am resilient.
You are.
You know, we
We
already know I'm
are.
cute. We already know I'm cute. We are confident in we are confident in who we are. So yeah, but I am solid.
You are. You know
Solid
what?
as
You
a
just
rock.
changed. I'm going to use that word much better that's a better word than strong.
And can I
Solid. I
I'm
like
gonna go
that.
ahead and tell the people that just the other day, Ron and I did a whole rendition of the Weather Girls, It's Raining Men. You should have been there. You should have. We were hitting all the notes, kids, hitting all the notes. We just do this song thing. Um, we will break out in song and dance in a hot second,
In a
right? But when you
second.
have people who allow you the space to be who you are, even when the world says, well, that's foolishness, that's silly,
Yes.
that's that. Screw them people. Get around your people who allow you to be who you are at all times and will join in the foolishness. I was like, turn
Yes.
it up, Ron. It's a raining man. Hallelujah. Yeah, we were going down.
I
We had
said,
church.
I went
We had
to
church.
I put on the computer. I turned my Alexa on and said, "Play the song." And she said, "You're playing the song, Ron. You're playing." I said, "Yes, I am." I said, "Yes, right."
You
And we
need those
start
folks in your
singing,
life.
and we do that from time to time. Sometimes we'll be singing, we'll be talking, chatting, and out of nowhere, a song will come up. And so I have my Alexa over here. So I immediately go, play the song. And then we just start singing the song. So, but that's the beauty of great friendship. If there's anything to talk, if there's anything about this water cooler day to talk that we've shared, is the value of friendships and the friendships that allow you to be you, no matter who you are.
Mhm.
It's
Like
the
real
best
you.
part. So we
Yeah.
were cracking up, and then when it was all over, we were dying laughing. She was
It
like,
was a good
she
laugh.
like,
It's a good hearty
I was
laugh.
hitting my notes though. I was hitting my
I was
notes.
hitting my
I
notes.
was like,
I hit
Sylvester
all
ain't
of my
got
notes.
nothing over these. I did the weather. He created the weather girls, and I was like, and then I started to tell her about the history. You know how the when you would go to these, the clubs, like you go to the gay clubs in New York City. And it will always be straight people, gay people, everywhere. New York City is like very fluid when it comes to some of the club life. And so I didn't start going to clubs until I was much older. And when I was young, I didn't go nowhere near them. But in my 30s, I started to venture out into the world. So I would go to the clubs, go to the village, and then there was this one club in the village. And as soon as there were certain songs that came on
Mm.
that made the whole house go crazy. And It's Raining Men was one of those songs. The women, the men, everybody got up and started singing and vote. This is to tell you how old I am. And they began to vogue and everything to It's Raining Men, and they're screaming and yelling. But there's so many songs. But I was also we were Gwendolyn, and we started talking about house music
Oh.
and how house music. There were lots of people that were banned from church, like gay people, bisexual people, people that looked different, people that didn't seem like they were on the same program as the church folks, like didn't look like them. And house music was this whole movement of these church people from church that brought this music alive with all of the drums and the music and the sound of the choir, because a lot of folks that were in the house circuit were also in the choir circuit. So they were singing choir songs in there from when they were at church, or some of them were still at church. But when they went to the house, they had church.
We had church. House music is gospel music.
They had church, and you saw this mixture of gospel music and house music fusing together. And it really gave it its life and its function. And sometimes you would see someone from church at the club. You're like, yeah. As my dad would say, the stinky finger went up. and then you move through the crowd. And but yeah, the house music was crazy. And that's how I ended up loving house music. And that's why I get so excited when we have house music here at Fort Greene Park, here in Brooklyn. It's a big deal. From 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 8 o'clock at night, those folks are dancing for 6 hours and house music. But that whole combination of the church world and music and dance, it's quite fascinating, the history of house music. So
I can't imagine somebody hearing house music and sitting still. That I
we
have
said
to
that.
know something's wrong with your soul. Your spirit is not right. It's like, how do you hear house music come on and you just like, oh, I guess I'm just gonna sit here. It's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
You
there's
know, like, you
so
literally
many
get the whole you're like,
songs.
yeah.
I mean, I feel sorry for folks that I mean, the music today is great. And I mean, I sound like an old person, like our parents used to say, our music was greater than your music or whatever. But I have to tell you that growing up in the 80s and 90s was absolutely masterful. The
Oh,
music, the
man.
lyrics, the words, the storytelling, it was just perfection.
Mm.
Most of the songs I hear today, I can't understand a word they're saying. I feel like I need a interpreter.
Right.
I'm on a bus and I hear it. I'm like, what are they saying? I want to know what they're saying. And now once in a while, you'll get some good ones, like the more and you know, you'll get some good songs. There's some good artists out there today, but I guess because we didn't have as many radio stations, we didn't have internet, we didn't have a lot of that stuff. So when one song was popular, it was popular across the
Yeah.
airways, and we all got to participate in that song.
We had a lot of crossover. I mean, I think about Pet Shop Boys and Culture
Pet Shop
Club and
Boys, Culture Club,
Duran,
Madonna,
Wham,
Duran Duran.
NXS. Oh,
Yeah,
goodness, like, it just
Cool
goes
and the Gang.
on. It
I mean,
goes
it didn't matter what
on.
color they were. It didn't matter where they
No,
came from. It
music
was
was
just
music,
music was just music,
and we all danced together.
and we
You know,
all
like,
danced
you
together.
could you can literally be playing, let's say a Kool and the Gang, and then Pat Benatar would come on.
Yes. That was my
Love is a
girl.
battlefield. You bet you know
That
what
was
love is a battlefield.
oh,
He
man.
comes on, I'm like,
That
"Love
was
is
my
a"
anthem.
man, right? Right.
Woo!
Love
That was
is a
my anthem in high
battlefield. Y'all better
school.
ooh, yes.
When Sherry dumped me because she well, anyway, I can't go into when Sherry, was a girl. I had a girlfriend named Sherry, and Sherry lived across the street, and they were from the West Indies, and I was the American kid in the neighborhood. So a lot of kids were from the West Indies or had some connection to it. And I remember when I got older, I realized what her mother was doing, but her mother was like, "Stay away from that boy, stay away from that boy." But she was just didn't want her daughter around boys, period. It wasn't me
Oh.
particular. She just didn't want to be. But I loved Sherry. And then the song came out from Journey. Oh, Sherry. And I used to sing the song to her on the phone. Oh, Sherry.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
and I love Sherry. Sherry is everything to me back when I was a kid. Like, but again, the music plays so much a part of our lives
Yeah.
that even when you were interacting and connecting, music soundtracks would pop into your head to kind of like express what you were feeling at the time.
Right.
And but Pat Benatar,
Pat
after I could not
Benatar.
hang out with Sherry because her mother banned her from, and then they moved. And I was like, oh my God, Sherry's moving. I was like, no, no, don't take Sherry away from me. And she was my first crush.
Oh,
And I remember though, Pat Benatar. Love is a
I still play
battlefield.
Pat Benatar. I
Oh
still play,
man.
Because who doesn't like Annie Lennox? Like, come on now.
Oh,
You
these
know what I'm
dreams
saying?
are made of these.
Ugh, and I loved Roxette because that was, if you think about Pretty Woman, and she had a lot of other songs too,
Mm,
but the Go-Go's, like there was just like music was music for a good chunk of us.
yes.
It was just part of what it was, right? Like you knew a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it all worked together. And if you went to your junior high dance, we played everything, you know.
I have a
And
question
then
for the community.
I don't know if something happened.
Mhm.
I'm still fairly eclectic. I play all the things,
I'm eclectic.
including country. We play all the things: country, classic, techno, jazz, all of it.
I listen to all of
Not a
it.
lot of heavy metal. Not too much
I
there.
even had a couple of heavy metal songs that,
Not too heavy. Although, who didn't love Twisted Sister?
I didn't like
Right?
Twisted Sister.
What? Wait, what?
I didn't really like Twisted Sister.
You didn't
I
like
had
Twisted Sister?
Metallica. I had
I didn't
Metallica.
do
I
anything Metallica.
had ooh, who else was
But Twisted
Meatloaf was
Sister, I mean, like,
kinda crazy.
Guns N' Roses, Meatloaf, yeah,
Guns N'
we did all of that.
Roses.
Because we had MTV, and if you
Yeah,
watch MTV, you just really you're like, if you play it enough, you start just liking it because it's
yeah.
always is always there. But yeah, I did like Twisted
I have a
Sister.
question for everyone in the building. What
Nirvana.
song represents your first crush? Did anyone have a song? Did anyone have a soundtrack in their head, like to your life? Like, what was your soundtrack? What song was part of your soundtrack when you were growing up? I'm
Mm.
curious. Curious. There's a couple of you in here. I know y'all had a soundtrack in your head. You
Hmm.
kissed the guy, you kissed the girl, and a soundtrack played in your head. I mean, a lot of us had Prince songs as
I had
soundtracks in our
Prince.
heads.
Prince was my soundtrack. So
Purple Rain was in my head all the time.
yeah, yeah.
When back in the day, and I always laugh. My buddy who's not with us any longer, my college buddy, I'll never forget going to his house one day, and I was like, "Holy moly! I've never seen a dude with so much purple and he had everything Prince. He lit. It's so funny that I keep running into these people that love Prince. I mean, like diehards. I mean, Gwendolyn is a diehard Prince person. So my college buddy, I mean, he was a diehard Prince. So one day I ended up at his house, and his mother said, "You cannot go home. It's too late," because they lived in Brownsville. And
Oh,
Brownsville was bad back in the day.
yeah. I'm like,
Brownsville
ooh.
was like you heard something going, phew, it wasn't a mosquito. It was probably a bullet. Brownsville was bad in the day. And I remember she said, "Nope, you cannot go home." So I ended up staying over. And so he rolled out a sleeping bag for me, and I had my little sleeping bag. And I was like I looked at the ceiling. I said, "Oh my gosh, you got stuff on the ceiling too." It was like ceiling, walls, everything was Prince, Prince,
That's
Prince.
a lot. I didn't do it like that. Like we had posters.
And he was straight.
You you can be a straight man and enjoy.
Yes.
I mean, okay,
Yes.
so like we had posters. Remember, we had all those music
Posters.
magazines, right? Like Right On, and what else? There was another one where you would get the magazine and tear the poster out because we had a lot. Oh, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, Wind,
Yeah.
and Fire. That was my
So
song. I mean, that was my group. That was the first group that I thought I could perform in.
really, oh my
Every
goodness.
time it came on, I got up, I grabbed I grabbed whatever I could and just start singing. Because I used to hit those notes. I could hit those notes.
Can you still hit those notes, Ron?
No, no. I won't even try. But some of the notes I could. In falsetto, I could do some of them.
I
Oh
still try to hit some notes.
man. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Woo! I still lose my mind when I hear Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah. There's
Man,
there's some good stuff. I mean,
we have
there is a
some good
there's a
music.
lot of music. I
Uh,
play a lot of Temptations,
Lisa says Secret Lovers, but she says just kidding.
Marvin Gaye. I missed that. Was that Quiet Storm? You were like, ooh,
Quiet
Quiet Storm.
Storm. Oh, in New York City, the
Oh
Quiet
man.
Storm. Or
About to
Frankie
start
Crocker,
singing
right?
Smokey.
Frankie Crocker. Was it Crocker? There I go, there I go, there I go. That was when 8 o'clock came along and you knew it was time to be home because there I go came on WBLS, and then you had to be at home. The street lights were popping on, and you had to be at wherever you need to be. Your mama said, be in the house by time. There I go, there I go, there I go. Yeah, baby. We used to love that song.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
wow. We didn't do anything I was going to talk about today.
Sometimes you have those moments. Like
This was
it's been a good
truly a
week.
water cooler moment. This is how you do water cooler conversation. You just
Yes.
talk and hang out. But no one really responded to only Adrian and Lisa responded to the
No,
soundtrack playing in their
Derek has
heads.
some in there. He has songs in his.
Derek has one also. Derek says two of
Yeah.
mine. Oh, here we go. Derek says two of mine when I was dating a girl in high school were Cooling Me
Cooling Me
Out by
Out.
the Isley Brothers. Wow.
Wow,
And
man, the
three
eyes.
times a
Ooh.
lady. Yes, three times
Oh,
a lady by the
Isley Brothers.
that was another one of my groups, the Commodores. The Commodores is easy like Sunday morning. Mm. Oh, man, I
That was
love these
hilarious.
moments. These are you guys are just putting me in a whole nother zone. I'm ready when you think about all that great music and the great memories, see, I had a really good people I know some people did not have great childhoods or teenagehoods or young adulthoods. I life was challenging, but I wouldn't do anything different. I really did have
Yeah.
a wonderful upbringing. I had music all around me. I come from a musical family. My cousin was a rapper, singer, and we would be in the car, piled up in the car. My aunt would take us to all these places to see what's his name? Oh my god, These Are the Breaks and all the other folks that are out there.
Curtis Blow?
Curtis Blow. We used to go to Curtis Blow. My cousin used to be the opening act for Curtis Blow.
Break it up, break down.
So we used to go to Curtis Blow concerts, and we would be the kids hanging out in the back of the seat, just hanging out. But so I have and my cousin, his sister is what really brought our family into the music world because she had a band, and so she used to play all the Earth, Wind, and Fire
Oh,
songs. And I used to go down to the basement and watch them play and hit the guitar and the drums and all that. I was surrounded by music. And I remember my dad, my adopted dad, the preacher dad, he would say, don't trust, he would say, don't trust a person that doesn't have music in their heart.
oh, I can
He
get
said, if
down
they
with
don't
that.
have a melody in their heart,
Mm,
they cannot be trusted.
I agree with that.
And as I got older, I realized how truthful that is.
Mhm, mhm.
It was like, if they don't have a melody, doesn't matter what the melody is, but they got to have a melody. There has to be a soundtrack playing in their head.
Mhm.
It has to have a melody. Everyone has a melody
Mm.
going on that gets them through the day, that helps them through the week, that gets them through their hard time, that gets them through the hurdles, the obstacles. Find your melody. He would say, you need to have a melody.
Mm.
And I said, well, that's not hard. I sing all the time. And when I used to work at the Container Store, I sang all the time.
All the time.
I was the singing employee. The people came in the building and say, where's Ron? I don't hear him singing. I would be singing everywhere I go. I sing all the time. But that was because I'm not sure. Maybe it was the influence of him saying when I was like 15, 16 years old. He said, son, don't trust anybody that does not have a melody in their heart. He
It's
said, they
great advice.
cannot be trusted.
I like it. That's great advice.
Isn't that great advice?
Mhm,
And I've
mhm.
learned that over my lifetime, it's been true. And the
Mm.
folks that I met that don't have a melody, they're usually miserable. They have something going on. They're not functioning well. But a good melody. Adrian says, new edition. Who could not miss? Do it now.
What song are you
Oh.
singing?
I know. I'm bad with words.
Oh, was that Cool It Now?
Cool
I
it now. There it
really
is. That
thought
was
of
it. I know
Cool by
that. Do it
Telephone Man.
now. Thank you.
And If It Isn't Love, they have a whole
New
list. They have a whole
Edition has
yeah,
so many hits. Oh my
yeah, they have a lot of
gosh.
hits.
Whew,
I mean,
man.
there's so many talented people
There's
that,
so much great music in the world.
the fact that, who is that? Is it Mark Morrison? Return of the Mac, the fact that that is now in resurgence.
Yes, that
I
was
did
another
a I
good
did
one.
a I did a photo shoot. I was a helper with a photo
Uh-huh.
shoot about 2 years ago, and the little girl, she's like 10 years old, and I said, "Well, what music do you want to hear? Like, what's your song?"
Mhm.
"No, you probably don't have it." And I was like, "Well, what's the song?" She's like, "Return of the Mac." I said, "Oh, girl,
Return of the
we
Mac.
have that."
Return of the Mac. That was a good one too. It was look, y'all got me going down memory lane. So this is an energizing conversation. I love it. This is a good way to end. I mean, hello. This
Ooh,
was
Burner
great,
Boy. Good one, Bryson.
right? This was good. This was good. Thank you, Gwendolyn, for taking us helping me go down this road of connecting with our past.
Bridget Ann, back down memory lane.
That back down memory lane. That's what we do
Yes.
here. That's what we do. We have conversation. That's what it is. It's a community here. That's why we're here. We're here to engage, to enjoy. But anyway, here's some announcements. If you want to be on the mailing list, go on to my ronlewisphotos.com and join the email list. Make sure you're there so I can communicate with you offline. Also, I am an event photographer. If you are looking for an event photographer, give me a call and reach out. I do commercial projects and also residential, as in people that are just doing little parties and they want their photography taken. I do that as well. So make sure you reach out to me or recommend me. I am there. And again, we want to thank our folks at Patreon, the Patreon folks that they keep the lights on, y'all. They keep the lights on. I could not be here without the Patreon community. They pay for the StreamYard. They pay for Canva. They pay for the car fare to go places and all the different things I need to do to be here to show up for you all. They pay for the bills. So if you are not in the Patreon community, join the Patreon community. Support. Don't be an onlooker. There's a couple of people in the Patreon community that are just free members. Step it up. I think I'm worth $3, at least $3 a month. Anyway, this community, and I say the community because that's what it is. It's a community. So definitely step up and become part of the Patreon members in this community. There you have it. Gwendolyn, you got anything you got to announce? Because you have something coming up on Friday. Are you talking off?
This Friday I have Terrell Swinton. He's going to talk to us about how art can be liberating. Love his art on Instagram, and I am excited to have him come and share. So, yes.
He is a great guy. I mean, I follow his page because of Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn put me onto his work, and excellent artist.
Yes.
And got so much going on. And just has, I cannot wait to see what I've seen in his Instagram feed translated to him speaking and sharing.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
And I see all the other, Bryson says in here, he says, this year is all genre music with Michael Bublé, Justin Timberlake, as soon as possible, Rocky, Pharrell Williams, John. Did I say it wrong? ASA? Should I be saying ASAP?
Most people just say ASAP Rocky, but okay.
ASAP. Obviously, I don't know who this person is. John Legend, I know who that is. Jay-Z, Coco Jones, Kendrick Lamar, I did not know Kendrick. I did not know I liked Kendrick until I started to get more into his music after the Super Bowl. I started going through all his music and I was like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Katy Perry, Meek Mills, and Burna Boy. Those are all great artists. Except I don't know who. I probably have heard ASAP Rocky, just didn't know who it was.
You probably have. I just
don't Adrian better not say anything in there. He's Adrian. I'm posting you, Adrian.
I'm sorry.
I keep it real though. God, I am who I am.
I was like.
Adrian, cut it out. You see what you've done to Auntie?
God. Oh my God.
You got Auntie Gwendolyn cracking up over here.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I had never heard that.
Rocky is a rapper. Thank you, Dr. Tachi. Thank you, Dr. Tachi. Oh, goodness. He is also married. Oh, that's the guy that's married to... Okay, I know who it is now. Okay.
Yes,
yeah,
yes. Ooh, okay. I got it.
He says so embarrassing. I tell you, Adrian, so embarrassing. It's like the never mind. I'm not even leaving it alone. It's time to let you guys go home. Get back to work.
Yes.
Get back to work. So, guys, thank you for joining me today. And do you have any last words, Gwendolyn?
Enjoy the day. You are here. Enjoy the day. You are here for a reason. Go out and make somebody's day great.
Kelly A says, Rihanna's Boo Ron. Now I know. I remember now. It's all It's all coming back to me now. Oh God.
Love it.
Because he said the luckiest man alive. You think so? Oh, I don't know about that. I think you're the luckiest man alive.
Oh, he says after
Either
me.
after me. Throw that in there, right, Sonny boy? Throw that in there. After me.
Oh, wow.
I can, if I may, since I did talk about Adrian a lot, I have to tell you, I love Nancy, his
Aw.
wife. Nancy is the greatest gift to any person, especially to the family, to people that are surround them, that connect with them. I'll never forget when he came running home, came by and said, I found my wife. I found my wife. I found my wife. And I said, oh, you're a little too young to be thinking about finding your wife. But then he was so sure. He was so sure. And now years later, that's his wife. He was
Aw.
young. He knew it. He knew from the moment. And she is so sweet. She is so sweet. And she makes me so happy. She calls me Ronaldo. I told Gwendolyn, I said, we still don't know why she calls me Ronaldus, but she calls me Ronaldus from the moment she met me. Ronaldus. Ronaldus. And that's her name. That is my name. That is my name. And I wear it well. When she says it, she goes, Ronaldus. How are you, Ronaldus? Just
That's
checking on
awesome.
you, Ronaldus. She is the gift that keeps giving. So I am so thankful for he and his wife, and I am so proud of the boys and everybody there. So I am very proud. Like I said, I'm one of the happiest people on the planet with so many reasons to be happy. Dr. Sachi's laughing. Why? Lisa says, wifey might be watching. Good save, Adrian. Lisa, Lisa and Adrian they are truly on the same plane. It's so funny. No, nobody has a better wife than me. 25 years and counting.
That's
Yep,
awesome.
25 years.
Ugh.
I am just, yeah, they are so amazing. I love them. I love them to pieces. I could not ask for a better family, a family that God gave me. Anyway, that's a whole nother story for another day. Because I went better start crying on this platform. Anyway, thank you guys. Tomorrow is Touch Base Daily, and we'll have our Trend Watch Thursday. We'll have Mr. Chris, even though he's moving out of his, he's in moving mode. We'll see Chris tomorrow, and he'll be here, and obviously Gwen will be here, and a couple of other folks, and yeah. So that's how I roll. That's how we roll. Family is everything. Better than great, Adrian Florence, for you. Lisa says, wow, you got married before I was born. Lisa says, wifey knows my whole past list and knows her. Oh, gosh. I love it. And Cass says, hilarious. We are a great community. I love this community. Guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. A wonderful day and night and week. And I'll see you tonight for those that come in that are going to be playing our game night. I'll see you tonight. It's Wordle night. It's Wordle. It's spelling bee and connect. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Gwendolyn, for sharing this platform with me as we do all the time. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful day. Later. Yep. Here we go. Bye. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.